Hello, good morning. Welcome to the weekend workout. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is the Bars and Bells studio. We have our body weight.
That's it.
A little bit of space.
In addition to that.
And all we need is that.
And you. And us. And I'll be starting with the head, neck, and the upper body. Lauren will take it over with the low body. And stay tuned for crawls, crows, and some pistol squat progressions. Always working on those body weight strength tips. Live on a Saturday at 8 a.m. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you very much for being here. Lauren's saying, let's start. So I agree. Let's open up your stance to perhaps your squatting stance. Slightly turned out feet, slightly turned out hips, and breathe. Then from there, hands across the body or belly. Retract the shoulders as to lightly squeeze together. With your chin tuck, rotate. I'll be rotating towards my right. Chin tuck in, rotate so the nose might line up over the shoulder. Then return the head through center. Get tall yet again. Lauren's top knot is reaching towards the ceiling. And repeat the rotation to the other side. And then to center. Let's add on to that and rotate through the rib cage after. So we'll start with the retracted shoulders. Check. Return to the rotation to the original side. And then turn through the upper back, in particularly keeping the other shoulder blade retracted. That's right, Lauren. Then head center. Return the body to center as well. Keep those hips forward as you repeat. Rotation, head rotation first. Then our torso turn to catch up. Keep the body, head to center, and then body returns. Repeating, butt squeezing, rotation at the neck, head to the right for me. Then a rotation through the torso. Keep those shoulder blades back. Rotation center, body to follow. Hello to that comment. Then head again, rotation. Then the rotation through that ribcage T-spine. Then head to center and body to reset. Adjust your stance, shake out those arms, and for one more thing for me, the shoulder blades. With the palms facing forward, try to pull to touch your sidelines of the legs. Then with low effort and stiff elbows, shrug the shoulders up, round the shoulders forward, pull the shoulder blades down, and then retract together. Repeat one more time in that direction as we shrug up with stiff elbows. We round forward with also stiff elbows, and then down and together. Two more times, switching the direction, we'll reach down first. As you can see, Lauren's hands will be staying put as she rounds the shoulders forward, and then elevate or shrug, retract, pull together, and one last time, down to forward, to elevating, together, and then let that reset in the middle. Returning to me in a moment for some more upper body, but first, some lower body with Lauren.
Let's get those feet warmed up. So heels are pushing into the floor, balls of feet. Let's spread out all 10 toes. Can you lift all 10 toes and find space in between? Now try to put your baby toe down, then your ring toe, then your middle toe, then your index toe, and then your thumb toe. Next, let's pull to that demi point. We might lunge a little bit. So let's pull, pushing some weight straight down, knee over top of ankle, and then drive forward, driving the heel towards the floor. Repeat. Think about pulling off the floor. Get to that demi point position, pushing straight down, and then push forward to extend the hips, cheek squeeze, adding on. Pull that heel up off the floor. This time, use your toes to point. Gently flex around over those toes. Now, keeping the toes flexed over, could you wing your ankle out to the side but keep your knee in line? And then pull that back in. Keep the knee in the same place but try to wing the ankle in. Back to center. Next, push into the floor as tip, tip. Ball of foot, heel down, hip extends. Other side, feel the pull to that demi point. Then use the toes to point. Gently flex over. Knee stays forward, hip stays forward, standing leg squeezed. Try to wing that ankle out. And then we'll return it underneath. Wing the ankle in, back to center, pointy point, demi point, heels come down. Let's drive the knees towards over the toes, hanging out in a little bit of dorsiflexion here, drifting from side to side. And then push both feet into the floor and extend the hips forward. Keep driving down so you find a nice balanced rise. Kneecaps are pulled up, cheeks are squeezed, core is braced. Keep the knees straight as you press the heels back down to the floor. Knees over toes. Peel the heels up. This time, could you sink a little bit lower, but then press all the way back up to tall. Knees straight, slow the descent. One last one, we'll go up. We'll bend the knees this time. Find a place, but then try to stay the same height as your heels reconnect to the floor. And then drive the hips through. And relax. Shake those ankles out.
Great.
Oof.
Returning to me for that upper body for a second and adding some nice flow to the hands, the elbows, the shoulders, and flowing like flow. Have the hands to the side. Make fists with the fingers. Check. Then flex on the wrist as to bring the knuckles forward. Then very gently here do our biceps curl up to this racks position. We use a kettlebell sometimes here too. And then at the hands, taper those hands or wrists so that the fingers face one another to the middle. Then as if there's a slacked rope in between, tighten up your grip and pull apart so that your fingertips, the pinkies in particular, our knuckles are facing the ceiling. Do that one more time. Turn in, then grip, hold, pull apart, end up with those pinky tips facing the ceiling. Shrug once and then pull down. And from there, elbow tips facing towards forward. Keep pulling that imaginary rope apart between the hands. Then pull the elbows to the body. Open up the fingers first. Wrists second. Elbows next. And looking at Lauren's side profile for this one, return your shoulders to retraction. Reach towards behind you, trying to touch your hands together in the back. And then at the fingers, make fists. At the wrists, bend, flexing one more time. Then flex or bend on the elbows next. Are the hands pulling apart? Whew, feel that burn. Then armpits go low. Elbow tips go forward. And for the last one, we'll open up the fingers first. Wrists second. Extend the elbows, but pull those shoulder blades together. And keep pulling the shoulders together as we return the arms to the ground. Oh, I hope that was energizing and awesome through those hands. Yes, we like to use kettlebells and push-ups and all those things, but sometimes your arms are heavy enough as they are. Well, what do you think, Lauren?
We gotta get those hips warmed up.
Gotta get those hips.
So let's come down to the floor to do a quick wrist and some hips from the floor. To get there, we'll warm up our hips on the way using our hinge. With your feet slightly wider than your hips, let's chop our butt back, reaching the hips. Shins are vertical. Feet are gripping the floor. You feel that load through your hamstrings and your glutes. Now push down and out on the floor, extend the hips back up to tall. Let's do that again and hang out there for a second. Hips go back. This time, we're about 45 to the floor. We're not folded in half yet. This time, we're gonna tip the tailbone to the ceiling. And then we're going to tuck under the hips, pulling the ribs towards the pelvis towards the ribs. And then reverse it, tailbone towards the ceiling, a light cow. And then a light tuck under, use those abs, pull the pelvis into that posterior tip. One more time, tip the tailbone to the ceiling, push down and out on the floor, and stand up to tall. We will be doing that one more time. Hip hinge, hang out here. This time, I want you to try so hard, but I don't want to see your movement. So you're slowly trying to tip the tailbone to the ceiling, but it's such a small movement. And then you're slowly trying to tuck under, but it's such a little movement. Do that one more time each way, moving millimeters. Can you make that SI area, move and groove under your own power? Last tip to the ceiling, then push down and away. It's easy to exaggerate those movements, but can you find that last little bit of space? Hip hinge, tip forward, come down. Find your knees, find your hands. Let's place our hands down into quick wrists from the floor because we'll be crawling and crowing. With those hands spread out nice and wide, let's pull our shoulders up into our ears like I don't know, and then pull them out of your ears. Once they're out of your ears, let's rotate those elbow pits forward, and those elbows are super straight with your shoulders down. Then keep your shoulders where they are and rotate the elbow pits backwards. One more time, rotate them forward, and now let's keep them there. As our elbow pits are forward and super straight, could we drift a little bit, shoulders towards over fingertips, and then use our fingers to press ourselves back. And one more time, pull ourselves forward. Now, could you stay in some wrist extension here? So shoulders forward, and then could you keep the elbows straight? And then could you press the palms away from the floor and control the down? And repeat 4 more times. Elbows are ramrod straight. Elbow pits forward, shoulders down. 3 more times. This is like going up to your tips of your toes to balance and back down. But your toes are your fingers.
Your toe fingers.
Your toe fingers. One last time. Are your elbows still super straight? And then press the floor away. Little lunge.
Little lunge. Working on those hips, as Lauren has said. So in that tall kneeling position, take a single leg and bring it to the front. You could have Lauren's pointed foot out the back the way she showed a second ago, or that toe tuck under. Be careful, be decisive, take your time. With the kneeling legs, that's this one I'm pointing to, my back leg is posteriorly tucked like that cat shape, tuck under, squeeze your bum, open up that hip flexor quad shape. Then pull the other leg in. Continue to pull that the whole body may drift forward. As you can see, Lauren's head, shoulders, hips are all moving together. Just stay right there. But do that one more time where you're pushing the back leg forward, you're pulling the front leg in, and you might be able to drift a millimeter further. Then push your back leg back. Then push your front leg forward so much that you finish in that 90-90 shape with the hips, and then coast away that effort. We'll do the same thing out to the side. So wiggle out to the side, address the hip hike or the rotation through the torsos here, and with the back leg, this leg, my right leg, I'll be tucking under, pulling in, gently drifting over the sideways facing knee. Encourage that knee over the toe by pulling in for stability. Stay, breathe. Perhaps address the posterior tuck or that cat shape in the back hip. Pull yourself one more time over, and then before you move, push the kneeling leg back there, push the bent leg over there, and reach to that tall position in the middle and work for 3, and then relax. Bring that leg to the front, end up on that tippy toe, and make this super challenging to bring a single leg underneath, or make it look so easy, but keep those hips forward. Other leg now, to the front. Maybe you have a hike side, a harder side. This is mine, so let's figure this out. We're tucking under the back hip with the glute squeeze, opening up the quad hip flexor load. Then we're pulling the front foot in. Continue to pull the front leg in as you extend the back hip, meaning squeeze your bum, encouraging Lauren's knee over toe shape. Stay there, breathe, ease off the gas a little bit, but repeat. We tuck the back leg, we pull the front, and you might drift that millimeter further forward. Stay there, squeeze your back leg, don't move yet. Then press the front leg forward, and as Lauren's returning to that beautiful shape right about there, now work for 3 more seconds, squeezing your back cheek, pushing forward through the front, and then coasting away. I hope that feels like work. We hope that feels like a nice stretch. Let's do that one more time. The sideways facing leg, the tucking hip of the kneeling leg. Pull together, preload, then pull yourself towards across, knee towards over toe, and just stay right there. Readdress that posterior tuck or scoop under of the kneeling leg. Pull yourself in one more time to go a little bit further. And then before you move, push your kneeling leg over there to the back. Push your bent leg the very opposite direction, and then move to tall in the middle and keep working for 3 and 2, and just stay right there. Bring that leg to the front, toe tip, extend through, little shake, back to lovely Lauren here.
I think we're gonna start into our first crawl.
Excellent.
So let's place our hands on the floor. Before we get to our first crawl, let's get that core going. Just a second, tuck it in. Okay, hands under the shoulders, either from the knees or from the toes. Let's start in that plank position. Our hips are slightly tucked under, squeezing the butt cheeks. We're pulling the floor together underneath us, bracing and breathing for 3, 2. Now slowly tip the tailbone to the ceiling. Gently lift the hips up to get to your A-frame, down dog, elephant starting position. Breathe and hold. Could you keep that tailbone tip to the ceiling and gently try to press a heel towards the floor. Prioritize that long spine versus just driving the heels down. Let's pull ourselves back through to that plank position. Plank hold. This time, think about that X pattern. So without moving, pull your left hand to your right hip. And then pull your left hand to your, you know what I mean, the other side. For 3, 2, then tailbone tips, hips lift, find that elephant shape. Let's take a couple steps forward in that elephant shape. So opposite hand and foot are peeling up off the floor. Again, we're prioritizing that long spine. One more step forward. Now could you step backwards for 4 steps? Opposite hand and foot. Palm peels away, fingers flick. Once you're back to all fours A-frame, slowly bend your knees, walk your hands towards your feet into your hinge again, and press yourself through. To tall.
To tall. Now that we're standing, squatting with me on that single leg, maybe grab that chair or balance apparatus nearby, pulling up to our low flamingo stance. Hold in this low flamingo, open so there's a triangle or some daylight between your legs, but then firmly close that back up. Next, tip your hips like that super small cow shape Lauren had us think about, where your tailbone is gently reaching back. Then on that single leg, do your knee bend, hang out for about 4 seconds here, and then hips forward, squeezing your glutes and pulling up those kneecaps. Open that leg to the side one more time. Keep those hips forward, knee facing side, and pull to center. Now tip your tailbone microscopically to the rear, then flex on that ankle, meaning bend, and you get low, hang out, and then press all the way through. Could we from here find that little toe balance now as we're on those demi points or those knuckles of the feet. Hang out for a second longer, and then with a straight leg, return to the floor. Simple, but not easy. Add a little shake in between and repeat 2 repetitions on the other side. So pull up to that flamingo stance down low. No daylight in between the knees, but then open that leg to the side. Then close to center. Microscopic tailbone tip like cow. Then the knee goes over the toe as we descend in our single leg squat. Hang out, create tension here, create light stress, and come away from that powerfully, nice and tall. For the last one, we'll open that knee to the side. Hold for a second, kneecap facing your partner out at the side wall there, and then pull to face front. The tailbone tips like a cow ever so slightly to help us facilitate that hip flexion or low in the squat. Hang out, and then hips through, glutes squeeze, kneecaps up, get your bearings, and then from there, it doesn't need to be high here, but where could you get up and hold with control? And more importantly, how can you safely return to the flat foot? Add some wiggles, add some shakes, and it's back to Lauren's zoo exhibits.
All right, let's do a little bit of a walk for those legs, and then we're gonna do 2. We're gonna be a duck and then an elephant again. Let's be a duck first. So gently bend your knees, pressing them up towards over your toes. First, a moderate height. Heel strike, roll through that foot. As you roll through that back foot, think about flicking the floor away with those toes. The knees are staying forward, the ankles are staying forward. Once you get as far as you can go backwards back. Again, the shoulders are nice and level. The core has that light brace as to not tip and weeble wobble. Once you're back to your starting duck position, extend those hips through and press to tall. Okay, that was the moderate duck. Could we get really into this gig and slowly come as low as you can down? But now you have to walk through that duck pattern again. So again, the knees and the ankles are staying in that line. We're trying to stay the same height once we've picked our height. And as we go backwards, we're going to do our toe ball, heel, reaching the hips back, finding 2 feet, and then gently pressing to tall. Whew. We'll double burn after those legs. All right, now we'll give those legs a little break, and we will be forward folding, first down to our elephant shape. So take your time as you forward fold yourself down here. Once you're here, take a breath, and then let's walk ourselves out into that elephant shape for a second, and hold, and breathe. Next, we'll take a single leg, and we'll flick that leg up towards the ceiling, reaching to the sky, but keeping your hips square to the floor. Then let's keep that foot up for a second and pull ourselves through to a 3-point plank, and hold for 3, 2. Now put that foot down, flick the other foot away, and reach the hips up to the sky. Stay square to the floor. Breathe. Reach long, pull through. Hold a 3-point plank position with hips and shoulders square to the floor. Tap down, switch, flick, lift. Breathe. Try to straighten that top knee as best you can and pull back through to your plank. 3, 2, one more time, other leg, flick, reach long. Is that leg reaching to the sky straight? Breathe, pull through, one last 3-point plank, hold for 3, 2, both feet down, lift your hips, walk your hands back to your feet, through your fold or unfold yourself all the way up to tall. Sorry, that explanation got lost in between here.
Also known as stacking. Or maybe subscribing to our Substack. Yes, Bars and Bells on Substack. Or check out our website for our weekly blogs. We do those too. Okay, it's single leg squat time with me again. Adding on, stand tall. Pull to your low flamingo stance. Check out. This time, open the knee to the side. Close to front. Knee towards over toe, getting nice and low. And then extend that leg and hold for 3, 2, pull under, full hip extension through. Now open that knee to the side and repeating. Knee towards over toe, get safely low for you. And then extend and hold for 3, 2, close, close, push the hip through to tall. Stand tall on those 2 feet and shake. Returning the other side, pull up to the low position. Our tailbones tip like that super small cow shape to the back to make room for the hips. And then straighten the leg out front. Pull that hip into its socket, hold, and then return low and hip extend through nice and tall. Repeat out to the side. Hope I have room here, Lauren. Knee to the side. Then we're going knee, bend, and reach. Hold for a second or 2 longer. Then pull under. Return the knee to the front. Press the hip through. Finish tall. Add our shake. Let's add our balance with a leg out front. So pull to the ankle. Keep it low and straighten out. And from that position, can we find that demi-point rise and hold for what I perceive to be our 4-second count. And then with a straight leg, slowly lower back down. Great job, Lauren.
Thank you.
And then pull straight underneath. Return to the other side. So pull to that flamingo stance first. Keep the ankle low as you point to the front. Either the karate style foot or the point. We like our bar, so keep the foot pointed if you could. And again, we're on that demi-point rise with squeezing butt cheeks, straight kneecaps, and then we'll slowly return to the floor. And then a straight leg returns underneath of the hips with our shake. Okay, Lauren, your turn.
Okay, Lauren. We have been working on our crows, so let's do level 1 crow, which first involves pulling ourselves down to our squat. Pull the floor together underneath you as you come down into your low squat. Next, we'll be placing our hands on the floor. Our feet are not going to leave the floor for this set. Our hands are going to come down. We will be lifting our knees up high, high, high in the armpits, high triceps. Right now, toes stay heavy on the floor, but just slowly try to push some weight into those hands for 3, 2, and then soft landing back to that low squat. We'll repeat that 2 more times. Grip the floor. Knees up high in the armpits. Drift forward, compress, keep the toes touching. It might be light touching, but they're touching right now. And then back down. Breathe. 1 more time. Hands, knees high, tip forward. This time, could you take away 1 foot only, 1 toe, hold. 3, 2, place down. Other foot. 3, 2, place down. Whew. come on back to that low squat. One more bonus round. 1 foot, 2 feet, up to you. No feet. It could be a book. Up, knees up high in those triceps. Try to get 1 foot off the floor first, then maybe the second, or no feet for 3, 2. Feet come down, low squat, chest lifts, press through to tall. Whew.
And add those shakes and wiggles to the hands, to the hips, and of course those feet too. Squats, one more time, trying to put that all together here. Let's stand on our single foot, pull up to our flamingo. From here, let's reach a single leg out front. It does not have to get to the ground, but from here, can we pull ourselves to get towards your safe low? Try to lift this leg up higher and higher all the time. Then extend through to tall and bring the leg underneath. Whew. Let's switch legs and repeat 2 repetitions each. That was my easy side. This is the harder one. You're bound to have one too. And straighten, point, or flex, your call. But again, as you descend, think about lifting the leg up higher. And it will come down. And there's no need to get to the floor like that. It takes a lot of practice, but take your time, finish strong, pull, and reset. One more time each side. Pull up to your flamingo. Straighten out the leg. Take your time as you pull yourself towards low. Breathe, and then hip extension through to close. And final repetition here. Pull, point. The leg will get low, but continue to think higher on that leg out front and hang out. And then hip through, pull under. For one last balance here today, let's go up to 2 points. You're on your 2 points. Then from those 2 points, could you transfer weight to one side and slowly take away that base of support and hold again for about 4, 3, 2, back to 2 points. And one last time the other side. Slowly weight transfer, pulling up the leg. Ooh, easy and hard sides, we all have them. Couple extra seconds there. Ooh, that was shaky. And then return to the floor, and we'll get that better, at least in my case, for the next time. Shake it out.
The other day I was balancing on a single leg with somebody, and I said, you're going to balance on a single leg, line your belly button up over top of the point that you're going to balance on.
Nice.
So it's not going to cross, and I don't want you to be a little teapot, but think about that midline or that belly button as your center point. At least for me, that helped a bit.
Excellent.
Okay, one more crawl. Yeah? Yeah. Great. Let's get back to our little kickoffs the floors, as in baby airs.
Baby air.
We'll get into our tripod position. So that's our hands on the floor underneath our shoulders. We will be in a stagger stance here. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You could also be practicing your crow or your plank position as we do this. If you feel comfortable, we're going to kick the floor away with that back foot. Kick, switch feet. Kick, switch feet. Right now, let's just stay low, practicing those switches for one more. And then press the floor away and come to tall. Maybe you stay low into that baby air practice, or we try to get up more upright towards that handstand where we'll kick and we'll still scissors, so we'll switch those legs. So if we were going to go a little bit higher.
We'll work in this I go, you go pattern. We'll all cue what Lauren's doing, and she'll cue me back and forth. So from that baby air, take a single leg and reach it up, and then switch. And again, as you continue to go very slowly, I'm just getting a little close to you, Lauren, do a couple more. And we're trying to perceive that line right up overhead and to not go through it. Very nice control there, Lauren. It's been a while. We're trying to get back to our handstand practice and invite you on our journey. And Lauren's favorite way to get the kick up is that kick up. So cue me, Lauren. What am I supposed to do?
Handstand. First grip, whoa, it's been a while since we've been upside down. First grip of the floor with your hands. Stagger 1 foot forward, back. Before you even kick up, shift your weight forward. Put your shoulders over top of your hands. Then when you're ready, kick the floor away, and we'll be switching legs on that landing to practice landing on alternate sides and kicking up with alternate legs. It's harder that way, we know. As you do this, try to keep those feet pointed. You're reaching to noon on the clock as you do this. And you're only going as high as you feel comfortable. Legs staying out where they are here, you'll never go head over. So keep legs where you feel comfortable as you kick up towards the ceiling. 4 to 6 is a lot. Whew. Can we do it one more time?
I like that idea. The I go, you go way is a nice way to check in on someone else's form while giving yourself nice time to recover in your joints. So Lauren has her tripod. The shoulders are stacked over the wrists, and she'll kick and scissor and land. It's beautiful aesthetically, as well as the sound of it. It's very light on the feet. It's efficient, absorb. If you get those feet up just like Lauren did, hang out there. How is that handstand? Been a long time, but still got it. And take your time coming down. Bailing or going forward or cartwheeling out of that is likely. Take your time and do whatever you can to own that exit and entrance.
A very important part
Shank it out like
of
a
the
gangster
handstand practice is to rest.
But my favorite way to get in the handstand is the step in. So cue me, Lauren, what should I do on my step in?
Okay, if you want to spice it up and step in, you start with your arms extended overhead. Ribs to hips right away. You will be taking a single leg forward, placing it down, and then flicking the floor away through that back foot. Then to stand up, remember to push the floor away to come back to standing. So absorb the floor on the way down, and then as you stand back up, flick, just like we practiced earlier, press away. As we get into this one, this is where, again, if you leave that leg hanging out behind you, you'll always go back to where you came from. If you're starting to get more upright, that's where you may need to learn how to cartwheel out of there just in case.
Just in case. One of our favorite drills from a couple months ago, it's been a while, is our minute of craziness. And we're going to take that minute interval and maybe place it to 15 to 30 seconds. I invite you to try one of your favorite and or most challenging movements from today and replicate it as we continue to explore our handstand here. We'll be trying to hang out in our handstand for a safe amount of time, up to that 15 seconds, and invite you to play in your plank, your crawl, your crow, as you do the same. Last exercise on those wrists today. Let's do it, Lauren, in about 5 and 4 and 3, and own it. Let's go.
And control down. Whew, breathing.
Awesome.
I always get shifted onto this one place that has a little dip when we do it at the same time.
Nothing
so I had to
like
move
a firm
my hands.
floor for sure.
We get to practice it again, right? You said 2 times.
Oh, we're going to do twice?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you into twice? We're into twice. Lauren's into 2. Shake it out in between. And let's just go and I go, you go. I'll go first. And this time I'm going to aim for my 10 seconds. And then that way Lauren has lots of space to do it on her own as well.
It was just really an excuse.
10 seconds.
All right,
Here
10 seconds. Take your time. Remember, it's taken a lot of time even to get 10/5 seconds upside down. So practicing your kick-ups, practicing your face the wall climbs, which we'll get back into, or practicing your crawls and crows are a great way. Sorry, I wasn't timing, I was just talking to them. Are a great way to progress your strength.
You got it. So again, I was aiming for 10 seconds. It's amazing how fast or slow time goes when you're upside down. So here Lauren goes for her last set, and to breathe. You might overkick, so find that great spot for you to stay nice and strong and hang out. You can always use the friend to balance with, a wall, or if you're feeling it, rock it. And you can hear Lauren breathing, pressing that floor away, finishing nice and tall. And this person's been so active on the comments, just want to say hello. Great, you too, Ni-Ru, you too. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us here. Well, that is our practice for today. We added some stretch and some strength and had some fun here on our Saturday. So thank you very much for being here live at 8 o'clock and or in the archive thereafter.
It's my 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, like a snowman.
Everything starts new again and fresh next week. We have our kettlebell class Tuesday at 4. We've been building our skills week by week and progressing. Our bar class Thursday at 4 as well. And we rework on our hip mobility, our body weight strength. And then we're back here on Saturdays.
You got it.
It's a great week.
Live
Walk in between.
3 times a week.
It's perfect.
That's it. That's it. So again, I'm Ian, and with Lauren, we stay strong with our bars and bells, and thank you for being here as our patron, as our member, or the YouTubers at large. Like, subscribe, share to your families and friends, and we look forward to taking care, staying strong, and training soon. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.
The pigeon